chosen one, listen to me very carefully right now. Do not skip this important message today. God just interrupted your algorithm for a massive reason. The spiritual warfare you have been fighting in secret is officially over. And the person you have been dealing with is hiding something deeply dangerous because they thought your pure heart would keep you completely blind to the dark frequency they brought into your life. Heaven is stepping in right now to expose their ultimate lie. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal exactly why this separation happened. I will expose the one dark secret they have been keeping from you, and at the very end I will give you the declaration that seals your energy forever. Please do not click away from this message. If you leave before the end, you will walk away from the very thing heaven deposited in you, and you will completely miss the specific tool designed to protect your peace. Let us talk about the extreme exhaustion you are feeling right now. You wake up every morning feeling completely heavy. Your shoulders are incredibly tight all the time. The invisible weight on you is entirely real. And every time you wake up, the heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes, draining your life force for absolutely no logical reason. You are certainly not physically sick today. You are certainly not losing your precious mind. This is an active and intentional spiritual extraction. Think about the night you wake up at 3 in the morning, feeling a sudden wave of anxiety. That is absolutely not a random coincidence. That is your spiritual team trying to warn you about the energy exchange happening without your permission. Your beautiful soul recognized the danger long before your logical mind did, because your intuition always senses the toxic shifts that the physical eyes fail to see immediately. This person wears a very convincing mask of virtue. They present themselves to the world as someone who is incredibly kind and supportive. They always know how to say the right words. They play the victim perfectly when they need to. But behind closed doors, they make you question your own sanity when you finally try to confront them about their subtle behavior, systematically twisting every single situation to make you look like the bad person. Every time you are near them, you feel a subtle shift in your energy. You walk into the room feeling light and full of love, but you walk out feeling completely drained and deeply confused. You try so hard to rationalize it daily. You tell yourself that they are just going through a hard time and desperately need your constant support. But your intuition is screaming at you to run away, because deep down you know that they are intentionally taking your light while pretending to be your greatest ally. You walk into a room and conversations suddenly stop. You feel the entire atmosphere change instantly today. The sudden silence is heavy and incredibly uncomfortable. You wonder if you did something wrong to cause this awkward tension. But the truth is that they have been quietly planting seeds of doubt about you while smiling directly in your face, manipulating the people around you to isolate you completely from your support system. You are a truly genuine and powerful empath. You do not just simply feel things lightly. You absorb and transmute the energy of the environment around you. And this specific person knows this perfectly well. They saw your incredible light, and instead of admiring it, they decided to feed on it. You have been quietly carrying all of their toxic emotional weight on your shoulders while they walk around feeling completely fine, entirely unaffected by the heavy burden they forced you to carry. That confusion is their greatest weapon against you. As long as you are busy questioning yourself, you will not question their hidden motives. You quickly start doubting your own clear reality. You wonder if you are actually the toxic one in the connection. They need you to feel extremely small so they can finally feel big in their own empty life, because their spirit is entirely bankrupt and they cannot generate their own authentic peace. Narcissists and energy vampires do not target weak people. They target the brightest and most powerful lights they can possibly find. They did not do this because you were weak. They did it because your light was absolutely blinding. Your beautiful empathy is an incredibly powerful resource, but that exact same empathy made you a prime target for their dark energy, drawing them to you like a parasite that desperately needs a pure host to survive the harshness of their own reality. But the divine universe has finally seen enough. God has watched you pour your sacred energy into a vessel that is intentionally broken. Heaven has recorded every silent tear you cried when you thought you were entirely alone. You thought they were abandoning you or pulling away, but the divine is actively forcing them out to protect you from what comes next, removing their toxic influence so you can finally step into the massive blessing meant for your bloodline. They think they got away with breaking your pure spirit. They actually believe that their dangerous secret will stay safely buried forever. They think you will never uncover the dark truth. But there is a massive spiritual blind spot they completely failed to account for. And this specific blind spot is about to cost them absolutely everything they hold dear, because heaven does not let anyone harm a chosen one without severe and immediate cosmic consequences. The extreme tiredness you feel is the physical symptom of a spiritual war happening in the unseen realm. They are actively trying to lower your high frequency, but their dark trap is about to become their very own spiritual prison. You are about to discover why the universe forcefully removed them. Stay with me right now as we uncover the truth, because the revelation you are about to hear will completely rebuild the powerful energetic shield that they tried so desperately to tear down. I told you I would reveal exactly why this separation happened. You have been carrying this heavy belief that you did something terribly wrong, thinking the isolation was a harsh punishment for your mistakes. But let me reframe your entire reality right now. That isolation you have been calling a punishment was actually a profound divine rescue. God did not remove the crowd to abandon you. He removed them so he could finally protect you from the toxic frequency they carried. Your isolation is not evidence of your disqualification. It is the absolute highest evidence of your selection. When heaven is about to elevate a chosen one, the very first thing that happens is a sudden and painful separation. You were placed in a season of deep solitude for a massive reason. The universe had to clear the room to speak to you without their constant interference, because they were constantly clouding your beautiful intuition with their subtle lies. And God knew you would never walk away on your own, since your empathy always forces you to stay and heal broken people. This brings us to a profound truth found in ancient scripture. Think about the wilderness seasons described in the text. In Hosea chapter 2 verse 14, there is a powerful revelation about isolation. It says that the divine will allure her, bring her into the wilderness, and speak comfort to her. The wilderness is never meant to be a place of starvation. It is a sacred space of divine communication. You were led away from the noise, so your spiritual hearing could be fully restored, allowing you to finally hear the subtle warnings from your spirit guides. The person you thought was your greatest ally was actually a hidden block. You mourned the loss of their friendship deeply, spending countless hours wondering how you could have saved the broken connection. But heaven saw the hidden traps they were setting behind your back. The divine universe forcefully severed that energetic cord to save your massive destiny. What felt like a brutal rejection was actually a profound redirection. What is leaving your life right now is simply making room for what is truly meant for you. You must understand that the enemy does not waste premium attacks on ordinary people. The enemy only targets those with premium assignments. The sheer intensity of the spiritual warfare you just survived is undeniable proof of the magnitude of your calling. They tried to keep you stuck in a low-frequency survival mode. If they could keep you focused on their endless drama, you would completely forget your divine purpose and lose your incredible spiritual gifts. But their assignment against your mind has officially failed today. Let this truth settle deep in your tired spirit. The pain you felt when they walked away was completely real, But that pain was actually burning away every false illusion you ever held about people like them. You are no longer the naive person who lets anyone step into your sacred energy field. You have become a seasoned warrior who can spot a demon wearing a friendly mask. This brutal initiation was absolutely necessary for the next chapter of your life, preparing you to carry a weight of glory that most people would immediately crush under. You are currently standing between two distinct identities. The old version of you is rapidly dissolving, and the new identity heaven is birthing is finally taking shape right in front of your eyes. The people pulling away are not truly rejecting you. They are simply sensing a massive frequency shift that they cannot yet understand. They are grieving the old version of you that they are about to lose forever. Because the new you is completely untouchable to their manipulation, they can no longer drain your light to feed their own empty souls. I want you to take a deep breath and let your shoulders drop. The heavy burden you have been carrying is no longer yours to hold. You do not have to fight this exhausting battle in the dark anymore. God has permanently taken over the spiritual battlefield for you. The separation you cried over was the ultimate answer to the prayers you prayed for protection, even if you did not recognize the rescue at the time. Heaven heard the conversations you were not in and moved swiftly to protect your future. Every single tear you shed was collected and recorded by the angels. The universe owes you a massive spiritual debt for carrying that heavy weight, and the divine payout is going to be absolutely unprecedented in your life. But you must stop mourning the door that heaven intentionally locked shut. If God closed it, no amount of human effort should ever try to force it open again, because that would only invite the darkness back into your sacred space. Trust the divine protection that removed them from your path. This brings us to a crucial understanding about your current state. You have done the incredibly hard work of healing your mind alone. You survived the brutal nights of endless crying and deep confusion, but your energy field is still resting wide open after this massive spiritual extraction. You must aggressively protect this new vibration before other energy vampires try to drain it again, since your beautiful light is far too valuable to be left completely unguarded in this world. But here is where it goes deeper than you have been told. You thought this person was just emotionally demanding. You assumed they were just going through a very difficult phase. But their behavior was not an accident. They were operating like a calculated spiritual parasite because they realized they could not generate their own light. They desperately needed yours to survive. Let us look closely at how energy vampires actually survive in the spiritual realm. They simply cannot sustain their own peace. They live in a constant state of internal chaos. So they find a chosen one like you to attach themselves to. They intentionally provoke arguments to keep you emotionally off balance all the time. While you were busy trying to fix the broken connection, they were quietly siphoning your pure energy to feed themselves. They intentionally created chaotic situations to keep you entirely off balance. Every time you started to feel peaceful, they would start a random argument over absolutely nothing. They knew that your highest spiritual frequency could only operate in a state of absolute calm, and they actively worked to destroy that peace. So they made sure your environment was constantly filled with unnecessary drama and heavy stress. This was not a character flaw on their part. This was a targeted spiritual attack. They know exactly how to mirror your best qualities. They learned how to speak your specific language of love. They did this so they could quietly infiltrate your emotional defenses without triggering your alarm. But once they got completely inside, they started dismantling your confidence piece by piece until you felt entirely worthless. They made you believe that no one else could possibly understand the special bond you shared. But they did not isolate you out of deep devotion. They isolated you so no one could warn you about their true intentions. They needed you entirely alone to consume your energy without any outside interference. You started doubting your own solid reality daily. You wondered if you were the toxic one, As long as you are constantly busy questioning your own actions, you will never have the clarity to question their completely hidden motives. You tried to compromise and fix things because you have a beautiful heart. You thought if you just loved them harder, they would eventually change their toxic ways. But you cannot compromise with a parasite that is actively feeding on your pure spirit. You were pouring your sacred light into a massive black hole, and they were never going to stop demanding more from you. The more you gave them, the more they aggressively took. They were never going to stop taking. You are a powerful empath who naturally absorbs the heavy energy of this lonely world. But your beautiful empathy is an incredibly coveted resource in the unseen realm, and it made you a prime target. Your light is absolutely blinding to those who live in darkness. They did not target you because you were weak or broken. They targeted you because you carry the deepest reserves of pure spiritual power. This is exactly why your energy field must be fiercely protected right now. When a chosen one forcefully removes a dark entity, it leaves a temporary void in their aura. If you leave your energy completely unprotected today, their lingering toxic residue might try to sneak back into your life. You need a physical anchor to lock in your high frequency. You need an impenetrable spiritual shield to guard your mind. For those who carry this rare frequency, there is something I need to share. There is actually a specific way to keep this divine light from being dulled by the world, and it requires absolutely no difficult meditation. It is something that other chosen ones have been using quietly to seal their energy fields forever. I will share more about this incredible tool in just a moment. For now, I need you to stay with me and focus on this profound truth. Every lie they told you forced your brain out of its natural state. They dragged you down into a low-frequency survival mode where you feel constantly stuck. When your sacred brainwave is suppressed, your spiritual genius goes completely silent and you lose your divine connection. The beautiful synchronicities that used to guide your path simply stop happening. You start to feel like the universe is entirely ignoring your desperate prayers. They desperately need you to stay in that low-frequency survival mode. If you wake up and remember who you truly are, they lose their favorite source of spiritual supply. They are absolutely terrified of the power you hold when your mind is operating at its highest capacity. That is exactly why they create chaos whenever you start finding your true peace. They wanted you to feel completely dependent on their chaotic energy, so you would never try to leave them. But the universe never left your side during this brutal spiritual attack. The receiver in your mind was just violently tuned to the wrong station by their manipulative games. Once that truth clicks into place, you are ready for the next deeper layer of this revelation. There is a specific physical sign that reveals exactly when they are draining your energy, and your body knows it before your mind does. Coming up, I will expose the exact biological symptom of their manipulation. But first, let this reality settle deep in your spirit. Here is the physical symptom I promised to reveal. Your body always reacts long before your conscious mind does. You feel a sudden tightness in your gut when they text you. Your chest physically constricts when they walk into the room. This is your nervous system detecting a spiritual threat. And while your logical brain tries to find a normal excuse for this discomfort, your physical vessel is urgently warning you that a massive energetic extraction is taking place right now. You try to rationalize it daily. You tell yourself that you are just extremely tired today. You think you simply drank too much coffee. But your spirit knows the absolute truth. The heavy brain fog that suddenly hits you is their dark energy suppressing your natural frequency, pulling you down into their chaotic vibration so they can comfortably control your reactions. And this brings us to something most people miss entirely. To truly understand their hidden motives, we must look at an ancient spiritual dynamic. Consider the profound story of David and Saul. Saul was the reigning king with all the earthly power, but David carried the genuine divine anointing. While Saul kept David incredibly close and pretended to be his greatest friend, he was secretly terrified of the pure light that David effortlessly radiated every single day. Saul invited David to sit at his royal table. He asked David to play music to soothe his tormented spirit. But behind that warm mask, Saul was completely consumed by a dark and bitter jealousy. He did not hate David because David was arrogant or proud. He hated David because he could clearly see that the spirit of the divine had completely departed from himself, choosing to rest upon David instead. This is exactly what happened to you. The person who drained you is the modern version of Saul. They invited you into their inner circle. They demanded your constant presence to soothe their own internal chaos. But every time your beautiful light shined brightly, it violently exposed the dark and empty voids hiding deep within their own unhealed soul. They realized they could never replicate your pure spirit, and it made them incredibly bitter. Their deep jealousy was never about material things. They were not jealous of your car or your job. They were fiercely jealous of your unshakable peace. They were angry that you possess a natural frequency that they cannot buy, fake, or manipulate in any way. You carry a divine spark that effortlessly attracts blessings and favor, and they absolutely despised you for carrying something they could never earn. They had to wear a friendly mask to stay close to you. If they showed you their true hatred, you would have walked away immediately. So they played the role of the caring companion. They offered you fake support, while secretly planting seeds of heavy doubt in your mind, actively trying to manage your elevation so you would never rise higher than they currently are. Think about how they reacted to your good news. They would offer a weak smile and immediately point out a potential problem. They cleverly disguised their deep sabotage as genuine concern for your safety. They constantly told you to be careful so you would stay trapped in fear, because they were terrified that you would finally realize your own massive power and outgrow their toxic kingdom forever. You were the bright light in their entirely dark room, and instead of letting your light guide them, they tried to shatter the bulb. You were a sacred crucible meant to refine them, but they actively chose to remain in their own bitterness and deeply rooted insecurity. You simply cannot heal a person who is secretly committed to misunderstanding you, and you cannot save someone who wants to completely destroy your destiny. The betrayal you feel right now is incredibly deep. It hurts because you offered them your purest and most vulnerable self. You fiercely defended their character when other people warned you about them. You poured your precious energy into their empty cup until you had absolutely nothing left for yourself, while they watched you slowly break down without showing a single ounce of real mercy or remorse. But heaven saw the spear they were hiding behind their back. Just like God protected David from the spears thrown by Saul, the universe stepped in to shield your spirit. The abrupt end to this connection was a swift, heavenly intervention designed to save your life. The divine removed their access to your spirit because your destiny is far too important to be derailed by someone else's unhealed childhood trauma and spiritual jealousy. Do not grieve the loss of a parasite. The space they left behind is not an empty void of loneliness. It is a newly cleared territory ready to be filled with massive divine abundance. You are finally free from the invisible chains they wrapped around your precious mind, and your gamma brainwave is no longer being actively suppressed by their heavy and chaotic presence in your daily life. But knowing this truth is only the first part of your battle. The spiritual realm operates on strict universal laws. They are gone from your physical reality, but their toxic energetic hooks might still be lodged in your subconscious mind. If you do not actively seal those specific entry points today, you will simply attract another energy vampire with the exact same dark spirit very soon. You must discover the subtle reason why you allowed them in, and once that profound truth clicks into place, everything finally shifts. You are ready for the next layer of this spiritual revelation. There is a specific internal block inside you that made you vulnerable to their manipulative attack, and it has been hiding in plain sight. Coming up, I will expose this hidden block completely. But first, let this powerful understanding settle deeply. Everything in this universe operates on a strict spiritual law of frequency. You are constantly emitting a signal that dictates your physical reality. The person who hurt you operates on a completely different and lower channel. They live in a dense vibration of endless fear and constant scarcity, and they realized they could never rise to meet your brilliant level. So they did the only thing they actually knew how to do. They tried to actively drag your high frequency down to their miserable level. Every time they made you feel small or guilty, they were violently pulling you into their dark and chaotic matrix. You felt deeply exhausted because your pure energy was constantly fighting their heavy gravitational pull. They watched your bright light dim, and they felt incredibly powerful. They were the ones controlling the emotional switch in your life. They wanted you to believe that you were losing your spark, naturally, over time. But the divine universe is actively exposing the sophisticated illusion they built, and heaven is finally breaking the chains meant to keep you entirely trapped in their dark reality. The people pulling away from you right now are not truly rejecting you. They are simply sensing a massive frequency shift they cannot understand. They are deeply grieving the old version of you they will lose. Because the new you is completely untouchable to their manipulation, they can no longer drain your light to survive their own emptiness. They see that you are waking up to your own divine power. The subtle games that used to keep you trapped simply do not work anymore. You no longer react to their manufactured chaos with frantic apologies. And your new boundaries are absolutely terrifying to a person who relies on your lack of boundaries to easily extract your energy. You are a genuine empath who naturally absorbs the energy of the environment. But your incredible empathy is not a flaw that needs to be fixed. It is a highly coveted spiritual resource in the unseen realm. And this exact sensitivity made you a prime target for energy vampires who desperately hunt for the brightest souls they can possibly find to consume. Knowing you carry this divine frequency is only half of the spiritual battle. The other half is learning to keep it from being dulled by the world. And that is exactly where a profound discovery comes into play today. For those ready to go deeper, a brilliant neuroscientist discovered exactly why chosen ones feel this sudden loss of their inner signal. He spent years studying sensitive people who felt completely disconnected from their gifts. What his dedicated team found is that modern stress creates something called the decline effect. It does not actually remove your beautiful spiritual gift. It simply dulls the powerful frequency you were born transmitting, pushing your brain out of its intuitive state so you feel entirely lost. His clinical research revealed a specific sound frequency. It can gently retune your tired mind back to its natural state. Documented across multiple independent studies, this sound wave effortlessly brings your brain back toward the gamma frequency. That is the exact state associated with deep clarity, and it brings back that profound knowing you have always carried deep inside your soul. There is absolutely no difficult meditation required to achieve this beautiful restoration. You do not have to struggle to heal yourself all alone anymore. You will hear more about how to safely access this specific tool very soon. But for now, I need you to realize how they weaponized your own mind against you, keeping you entirely locked out of that sacred gamma state. When your brain operates in its highest natural frequency, no narcissist can ever penetrate your thoughts. Your vibration simply becomes far too high for their toxic attacks to reach. They wanted to keep you completely stuck in a low vibration so you would never realize your true spiritual authority. They needed you entirely powerless and confused. but your spirit is already fighting back against their dark suppression today. The restless feeling you have right now is your soul desperately trying to break free. You were built for a totally different frequency. And the heavy exhaustion you feel is the physical residue of your energy field, finally rejecting their toxic attachment forever. The universe has completely cleared the toxic energy out of your sacred path. Heaven fought your unseen battles and absolutely destroyed the enemy who tried to break you. But now you must actively align your own frequency to lock in this beautiful victory. You must completely seal your fragile aura before their lingering toxic residue tries to sneak back into your open spiritual space. And once that profound truth clicks into place, you are completely ready for the next layer. There is a deeper root operating beneath every season. You must expose it to finally break the cycle. Coming up, I will expose the exact internal block that allowed them inside your energy field. But first, you must let this spiritual reality land deeply. But here is the part no one wants to hear. And I say this to you with absolutely nothing but love today. The thing that has been quietly blocking your breakthrough is not actually the enemy outside of you. It is something hiding deep inside your own mind that you have mistaken for spiritual wisdom. You honestly thought you were just protecting yourself from further pain. This is exactly where it gets truly confrontational. But we must look honestly at this subtle snare right now. You allowed them into your sacred space because some quiet part of you has been terrified of your own power. You have been actively dimming your bright light just to keep broken people entirely comfortable. You completely compromised your own divine frequency for them. This is absolutely not an accusation against your beautiful heart. It is the precise spiritual diagnosis that finally sets you free. You learned to shrink yourself because your profound depth always intimidated the ordinary people around you. And over time, you convinced yourself that playing small was the only way to be loved and accepted. You tragically chose temporary comfort over your true calling. The energy vampire saw this hidden fear and exploited it perfectly. They knew you were terrified of standing in your full spiritual authority, so they gladly took your power while convincing you that you needed their constant guidance. You handed over your divine keys because carrying them alone felt far too heavy and isolating. It was simply easier to let them lead your path. You are not truly afraid of failing in this spiritual journey. You are deeply afraid of what happens if you actually succeed. Because stepping into your full chosen identity means leaving the familiar comfort of being the misunderstood victim. It means you can no longer hide behind their chaotic drama to avoid your own massive divine calling. You finally have to take full responsibility. You have called it empathy when it was actually self-sabotage. You called it patience when you were actually just agreeing with limitation and delay. But hiding your immense spiritual gift does not serve the divine plan at all. God did not place this massive light inside you so you could bury it under someone else's heavy shadow. You were always meant to shine incredibly bright for others. The sensitivity they told you to hide is a powerful radar. The depth that made you feel like you were simply too much is your greatest weapon. But spiritual weapons are incredibly heavy to carry daily. And you wanted to be normal so badly that you let a toxic person drain the very thing that makes you completely extraordinary. You traded your pure magic for a familiar illusion. But you are absolutely not a normal person. And you were never meant to be everyone's personal savior. You were meant to carry one specific assignment that only you can completely fulfill. The universe allowed this painful separation to forcefully pull you out of hiding today. Heaven removed your toxic hiding place so you would finally have to face your own brilliant reflection. You can no longer pretend that you do not know who you are. The unseen spiritual realm dictates the physical realm entirely. And the enemy knew exactly how much power you would hold if you ever stopped apologizing for your unique gift. They wanted you to stay incredibly small, so the world would never benefit from your healing frequency. They desperately wanted to keep your powerful voice quiet. But that long era of shrinking yourself is completely over right now. The old version of you could not have survived this brutal spiritual extraction. You are standing right at the edge of a massive and permanent transformation. The divine universe is calling you out of the shadows and demanding that you finally take your rightful place. There is absolutely no going back to the dark now. You do not need anyone's permission to step into this new identity. Your breakthrough activates the exact moment you stop asking for validation and claim what is already yours. You have been waiting for someone to hand you a crown that is already resting securely on your head. You just need to stop lowering your vision to match their complete blindness. You are the master of your own energy. Every single thing you endured was designed to forge this exact realization. You are not a weak victim of a toxic relationship. You are a powerful spiritual warrior who just woke up from a very long and deeply confusing sleep. The enemy made a fatal mistake when they tried to break you, because all they did was introduce you to your own unbreakable strength. You are untouchable to their darkness now. And now comes the pivotal moment where absolutely everything shifts in your favor. The long season of painful hiding is officially complete. You have endured the difficult preparation, and you have survived the brutal isolation. You are finally ready to seal this truth in your spirit and completely lock the enemy out of your energy field forever. Get ready to make the ultimate spiritual declaration. This is your exact moment of divine liberation, not tomorrow, not next week when you feel perfectly ready. The shift is happening right now. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to place your hand on your heart and declare this with me out loud. I completely release the heavy need to be needed by broken people. I release every single agreement I ever made with smallness, limitation, and fear. I confidently step into my divine assignment, knowing my deep isolation was powerful preparation. The universe cleared my path to protect my sacred energy from toxic forces. My ultimate breakthrough is not coming someday, in the distant future. It is already here, moving dynamically in my life right now. And I walk forward knowing I am completely chosen by heaven. I am deeply prepared for this season, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. Some profound messages do not just inform your mind. They actively activate your sleeping spirit. And if something stirred deep in your soul just now, you are finally ready for what comes next. If you felt the absolute truth of what I just said land in a place words usually cannot reach, your spirit is firmly confirming this reality. This message is absolutely not for everyone watching today. It is only for the chosen ones who already know they carry a massive frequency. For those who carry this rare and beautiful frequency, there is something I must share with you. You have always sensed more and felt much more than the ordinary people around you. But simply feeling your spiritual gift once is not the same as learning to live in it daily. Knowing you carry this bright light is only half of the spiritual battle. The other half is learning to keep it from being dulled by this heavy and chaotic world. A brilliant neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake spent years studying this exact spiritual phenomenon. He desperately wanted to know why so many chosen and highly sensitive people feel their inner signals suddenly go quiet. What his clinical team found is that modern stress creates something called the decline effect. It does not remove your beautiful gift at all. It simply dulls the divine frequency you were born transmitting, pushing your brain out of its intuitive state. But his dedicated research team also discovered a profound and incredibly simple solution to restore your power. They documented a specific sound frequency across 4 completely independent clinical studies. This powerful sound wave can gently retune your tired brain back toward the gamma state. That is the exact brainwave associated with deep clarity, sharp intuition, and that profound spiritual knowing you have always carried since you were a young child. It requires absolutely no difficult effort or endless silent meditation sessions on a lonely mountain. You just listen for 7 minutes a day through your headphones, and the divine signal effortlessly begins to rise again. It works by bypassing your exhausted conscious mind to heal your subconscious directly. You do not have to struggle to fix your energy field all alone anymore. The universe has provided a physical tool to help you quickly rebuild your spiritual shield. This incredible tool is called the Genius Wave. You simply press play for 7 short minutes a day and let the frequency wash over you. It works flawlessly with what is already resting inside your spirit today. It does not add anything foreign or unnatural to your beautiful mind. It merely restores the brilliant frequency that the harsh world tried to completely bury. A single clinical biofeedback session usually costs around $300 an hour. The medical devices that generate this frequency can easily run into the thousands of dollars. But the creators firmly believe this sacred technology belongs directly in the hands of chosen ones, exactly like you. So the entire program is available right now for less than the cost of a simple pizza. It also includes beautiful spiritual bonuses, perfectly designed to bless and protect your entire family. You deserve to experience the effortless flow of daily miracles again. There is one vital thing you must know before you take action right now. Cheap imitations have already started appearing on ordinary streaming platforms. The enemy always floods the market with fake copies precisely because the real frequency deeply threatens his control. These dark counterfeits carry absolutely none of the real restoration power. Make sure you only access the genuine frequency through the secure link provided below. Protect your peace by using only the verified portal. The secure link is waiting for you in the description and the first pinned comment below. You are fully protected by a 90-day karmic promise today. If your spirit does not immediately recognize the massive energetic shift, every single cent comes back to you with absolutely no questions asked. But this divine window will not stay open forever. If you feel the deep truth of this message, let that be your ultimate confirmation. Step into your ultimate timeline and receive your spiritual armor right now. The season of brutal preparation is finally complete. You are completely safe in this new timeline. The toxic energy has been permanently cleared from your sacred path. You are not the same person who started watching this message today, because the intense spiritual fire you just walked through has entirely burned away your old limitations, and you are never meant to walk backward into what you have already outgrown. Your beautiful divine assignment officially starts right now. Everything you endured in the dark was absolutely not wasted. It was rapidly preparing you for this exact moment of massive elevation. You are not the misunderstood victim of a terrible relationship. You are the chosen one who carries a heavy mantle of pure light. You do not need anyone else to validate your worth anymore, and your massive breakthrough is not coming in the distant future, because it is already unfolding right here in this very moment. But you must aggressively protect this beautiful new timeline. Your fragile energy field is still resting wide open after this massive spiritual extraction. The lingering toxic residue from your past will definitely try to sneak back inside. You need a physical anchor to lock in your high frequency permanently today. This is exactly why your loving spirit guides led you directly to this vital message, knowing you needed a powerful tool to shield your mind from any future attacks. They want you to quickly reclaim the suppressed gamma brainwave. That specific frequency is the ultimate energetic shield against any future demonic manipulation. When your mind operates in that sacred state, no narcissist can ever penetrate your pure thoughts again. You must reactivate that dormant frequency right now to protect your newfound peace. The divine universe has provided the exact shortcut for you, so you do not have to spend countless years sitting in silent meditation just to heal your deeply broken spirit. You must fiercely guard your precious energy right now. The enemy always sends cheap counterfeits when a chosen one is close to a massive breakthrough. Diluted imitations circulating on ordinary streaming apps will drastically lower your vibration instead of lifting it. Do not look for this sacred technology on those common public platforms. They are specifically designed by the dark matrix to keep your mind entirely distracted while pretending to offer you a quick and easy spiritual solution. There are many fake copies designed to look exactly like this tool, but they carry absolutely none of the real restorative frequency you desperately need. Only the original version is completely genuine and fully activated for your spirit. Imitations always appear quickly when something this powerful is finally released to the world. Protect yourself by using only the verified link waiting for you below, because heaven demands that your delicate energy field receives nothing but the absolute purest form of divine restoration today. The genuine portal is in the description and the first pinned comment. The universe demands absolutely no risk from a true chosen one like you. You are fully protected by a complete 90-day divine guarantee today. If this frequency does not immediately bring you profound peace, your full investment is quickly returned without any question. This is a sacred, energetic exchange governed by complete trust, meaning you can step forward with absolute confidence, knowing that your fragile heart is completely safe in the hands of the divine. If this specific tool is not meant for your unique spirit, every single penny comes back to you. There is absolutely no logical reason to wait for a better moment. The door to your ultimate timeline is resting wide open right now. The chosen one who hesitates at the threshold sadly becomes the one who always wonders. Claim your verified copy of the sacred frequency before this critical window closes, because you owe it to your future self to finally experience the effortless peace that was violently stolen from you. Do not let their lingering toxic frequency drain this beautiful new reality. Before you go any further today, gently press the like button so this blessing can reach someone else. Share this message with someone who has also been called too sensitive and too quiet. They desperately need to hear this profound validation tonight. Subscribe and turn on all notifications so you never miss the next revelation, because the spiritual realm is preparing to download even more massive upgrades into your awakening mind very soon. The devastating spiritual war you fought in the dark shadows is officially over. You are walking directly into the bright light of your beautiful new reality. Type 777 in the comments if you receive this divine word today. Walk confidently through the open door and never look back at the darkness. The universe is incredibly proud of the resilient warrior you have finally become, and heaven is actively celebrating the profound victory you secured for your entire bloodline simply by refusing to give up. You took their worst nightmare and transformed it into your greatest awakening. You deserve to wake up every morning feeling incredibly light and full of purpose, because your long season of being the bleeding healer for broken people is permanently closed. You are stepping into a profound era of receiving massive blessings without any struggle. But you must actively claim this new identity and lock out the enemy for good. Seal your beautiful energy field today to protect your sacred mind. I will see you in the next divine frequency shift.